Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom, Clark. A little off-season boom, a little mid-February boom to get the energy level up a little bit. This is the time of year for folks like us, man. We need to get the energy cranked up a notch.
You're dang right, Adam. You are dang right.
About 5, man. You know, we just got to get through this dreary winter weather right now. But what you know good, brother?
Well, I know that this is episode number 49, and I know that it feels really good to be back here.
Yes,
this is the off-season. Welcome to the off-season, folks. It's kind of a dreary day out here in Northeast Georgia.
That it is, but we are back-to-back national champions.
That is true.
Still floating on our cloud for those who would like to know. And people that see me out and about still ask if I'm on a cloud. And I say, yes, sir, I am, brother. You best believe it. I'm still floating on that cloud, man.
Do you still pinch yourself, Adam?
I still pinch myself.
You have to.
I still just sit there and think 65-7.
I know.
That's 58 points, man. 65-7. I have some stuff that says 65-7 on it. And every time I see it, I'm like, man, you just talk about a tail whooping, Clark.
Yeah.
Just a tail whooping. And then I see, and then, you know, my biggest predicament right now.
What's that?
Is kind of balancing out which national championship team I'm going to honor.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I have one that just says back to back. Kind of honors both of them. You know what I mean? So that's a predicament. And as a fan of an elite college football program, stuff that we have to deal with right now. What national championship hat am I going to wear? What shirt am I going to wear? You know, where am I going to place what memorabilia and commemorate with? You know, that's just where we're at right now.
I was about to say, I'm looking around the shop right now, Adam, and my gosh, we're running out of real estate.
Running out of real estate, man. I got my 2022 national championship here in the little man cave shop where me and Clark record from every episode that you see. And of course, it's just covered with Georgia memorabilia through the years. But I have a wall in the back that is a tribute to both national championship teams, the flags with the national championship logo of both teams, and then on each side of the flags that are stacked together, tribute to one year and the other year that mirrors the same type posters, Sports Illustrated, stadium panoramas, and everything, man. And every time I walk in here every day and I look at it, I just smile. Yeah, just smile.
Well, you know, last off season, Adam, we thought we had this pipe dream that Georgia was going to do it again.
Yeah,
and here we are.
Yeah.
Same kind of feeling, to be quite honest, as last offseason at this point. We're thinking, man, this year's team could do it too. Yeah. We potentially could three-peat. We're going to get into why we think that in later episodes. We're not going to go that much into depth with it. But for this episode, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk through kind of the timeline of events that have happened, that have transpired, Adam. There's my big word.
There you go, transpired.
That have transpired since the national championship celebration. Certain things have happened, good and really bad. So we want to make mention of those things on this episode. But Adam, before we get into all that, what have you been up to?
Man, Clark, just being a dad.
Okay.
Just being a dad to a 6-month-old girl, all that, as all parents know, a lot of time consuming with that and wouldn't have it any other way. So doing that, and then it's just been wet up here in Northeast Georgia, man, and trying to get out in the pasture and feed cows some hay, and that's kind of just been my daily routines and some stuff. And, a few projects here and there, but nothing big, just laying low and just living.
I like it.
Just living, baby. How about you, brother?
Yeah, my business is starting to pick back up.
There we go.
In the fall, it kind of has a little bit of a lull. Not as many projects to work on, especially when I'm not taking on weddings and that kind of thing. So, but wedding season is in full swing, so I'm doing a lot of wedding videos. And Adam, you and we're talking about starting a new business venture, we're not going to discuss it on this podcast just yet.
Until it gets official, but we have that's been a lot of time, too, that we have done since our last recording is talking about something that Clark and I want to indulge in the business world. And you won't see it coming, folks. You won't see it coming. It is not related to Georgia football at all, but it is something that brings joy, and we will bring high energy in it with what we do. And it'll be exciting. Big plans with that. Hopefully all the chips fall into place with it, and it'll be exciting. Yes. I cannot wait. If everything goes to plan with it, I cannot wait to unveil it.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
You will, to the world.
And you know what? When we do get this kicked off and running, Adam, we're going to invite all of our Row 60 people to come be a part of
Yes.
our grand ceremony, if you will, our celebration.
Yes.
So,
and I will say, it's not a restaurant or store or anything. It's nothing along those lines. You won't see it coming, but we will be talking about that on future episodes once we get everything in stone, hammered in stone, man, and concrete. So
it's gonna be exciting.
I can't wait. After this podcast, Clark and I are sitting down and running through some more stuff with it.
We got to talk some business, people.
Yes, sir, man. So exciting times, but back-to-back national champions, man. Life is good. Always is good, man. Lord's good. And I hope everybody else, everything's going good in your world, man. We miss getting to conversate with folks. And we're going to ramp it up more this offseason than we did last season. We want to stay in touch with everybody. We'll get some guests on maybe. And I don't know if you have that listed on later on down our plans to talk about that, but we could get that at the end of the show, kind of what we have planned until what I would say, Clark, is our official kickoff to like, boom, here it is. It's go time to get back in routine of shows, which usually starts with us about mid-July, would you say?
Oh,
mid-July, we start some previews and stuff. So, man, hey, it'll be here before you know it. So we're excited about that. But right now, we're very fortunate to be doing what we're doing right now. And it's just good times, man. But there's a lot to cover. Like Clark said, good stuff and some stuff that is just heartbreaking that we just need to make mention of that we have not been on air talking about since the national championship. So.
Yeah. So let's start off with some good, Adam. The national championship celebration, I thought was a fun time.
Yes, it was.
For those who went, I don't know, it didn't have the same luster as last year's. Just because I guess it wasn't new.
We're making it a yearly routine, Clark. I actually had to go to a conference in Atlanta last week for kind of an ag leadership deal, and Brian Kemp was there, and I ran into him. Actually, we had a little gathering after we visited the Capitol, and he spoke at it, and like he was walking by, and he said he liked my tie, had on the Georgia tie, and I shook his hand, and I said, Governor Kemp, I hope we make it a yearly tradition that I get to hear you speak in Sanford Stadium in January.
Really? I didn't know you had that encounter.
Yep, I had that encounter. So that was pretty cool.
Man.
So he's a DGD, loves the dogs.
Did you happen to ask him when the teachers are getting a raise?
I didn't.
Well, my wife needs a raise, and all the teachers out there.
I mean, everybody.
I feel like everybody probably can make a case.
Yep. But no, we were there for a little agriculture event deal, man. So it was real neat. It was real neat getting to explore the Capitol and doing that.
Yeah,
so I wore my suit and my tie, which I do not wear at all, only on very special occasions. So a full day wearing a suit and tie was rough on me, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I digress.
Cool.
I digress.
Cool, but no, I'm glad you told me that. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I just thought about it when we were talking about celebration. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke. We had Shockley was there again. DJ Shockley was kind of the host, if you will. And I liked
the narrator.
The narrator, yeah.
The narrator.
I will say this. Kirby
was juiced.
He was juiced. And I
think he was juiced.
I think he was juiced, as in he may have had a couple of mimosas in the morning.
Maybe so, man. He actually seemed more jacked this year than last year. It seemed like, man. So I mean, Dr. Moorhead.
Yes, Jerry.
Dr. Jerry Moorhead.
I've heard Jeer and I've heard Jerry.
I was going to say, what did Dr. Moorhead say, Clark?
He said, "Hello, students and fans of the University of Georgia. My name is Jerry Moorhead, and I want to thank you for joining us on such a
that's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Perfect.
I mean, you nailed it. That's exactly what the great Dr. Moorhead. We love Dr. Moorhead.
We love him. Yes.
Great job on the academic side.
Oh yeah.
Great job, Clark, on the academic side at the University of Georgia, man. I mean, I'm sure there's great things going on there academically. Do I know what's going on there academically?
I was about to say.
I don't, but I know there's good stuff because everything is held to elite standard at the university. But more importantly, we have a president there that is a friend of the football program, and you can't say that about the guy that was there before Dr. Moorhead, and caused Coach Rick a lot of anxiety, I would say, probably. I mean, just some hard times. But anyway, what Dr. Moorhead has done, his support of the program, is another key cog that was in the machine to build Georgia what it is. So we love Dr. Moorhead, but that's exactly what he was saying. And that voice, everything. Nailed it, Clark. So
he was there.
Beautiful day.
Yeah. It was good to see all the guys out there. I thought Stetson's celebration speech, if you will, was pretty, I don't know, it's pretty harsh. It was pretty much like, I don't care for anybody out there who ever doubted me, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't thank you, fans, for sticking sticking with us all throughout these times.
He definitely a guy with a chip on his shoulder, man. And hey, he earned to say whatever he wanted to say in that celebration. Now, there's stuff that back and forth, just kind of like, probably wouldn't have done that. But that's one of those things where I kind of stayed out of those arguments that you would see, and just happy to be a back-to-back national championship. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's just going to what our take's going to. But yeah,
I thought it was a little brash.
But it was. I wasn't expecting that type of deal. But I will say that Christopher Smith did a outstanding job speaking. Man, DGD, man, and
going to miss him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Cedric Van Pran, he was up there too. So. Yeah, a lot of good times, beautiful weather and everything there. Got to see old Russell Harrell. He was there. Some of us got people that traditionally sit with us were at the celebration where we sat at on row 60, man. So always good to get that extra time, even if it's not a game, in Sanford Stadium.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Let's make it a yearly tradition, man.
For sure. Moving on. So the very next day had some very sad news. Chandler, Lecroy, and Devin Willock. They got into a serious car accident along with
Warren
McClendon. Yes, sorry about that.
And another recruiting staff. Right. I apologize. I can't remember her name right off. But yes, that was a very tragic event. It's something that life can give you the ultimate highs, and then just in a split second, it can be an ultimate low, man. And that's why we're not of this world, that there is something better than this world. As much as we love Georgia football and the feeling of a national championship, man, there's something better than this.
Oh, yeah.
Because stuff like that can bring you down right there. So what Clark and I really just want to address with this, because we haven't had a show since the release, is that just we are still praying for everybody that was involved, man, and knowing that the Lord will work through it. I mean, and I'm sure there's been a lot of people in the life that both of these young people lived that were touched by that and growing closer to the Lord because of the inspiration that they were for that. From what you hear of people who knew them best. So just continued prayers to the whole community and people that were close to these individuals and everything.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a very tragic thing, and man, I know it certainly will affect these young guys on the football team. I know they've been bringing in some people, some counselors, to kind of work through some of the players, or work with some of the players through this situation. So that is really good. And yeah, our prayers continue to go out to them. And hopefully, these players will play for, Chandler and Devin this upcoming season. So,
oh yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely, heart-wrenching, man, and just I can say just continued prayers, and they left a legacy that their impact that they left behind will always be felt.
Absolutely,
individuals, man. So,
yep. A.D. Mitchell, a little shifting gears here. Jeez Louise, man, are you kidding me? A.D. Mitchell, for those who may be sleeping under a rock, transferred, our best. You could argue our best receiver. You could also make the argument that he wasn't the best receiver.
Exactly.
Anyway, he's going to Texas for $4 million, sold out to the Longhorns.
Hey, one of my favorite rock and roll songs was sung by a band called AC/DC, and it says, "Come on, listen to the money talk, Clark." And the money talked to AD, and he listened, man. And I know he's originally from Texas, but I don't buy. And I should say this, I don't know him personally, but I mean, $4 million. Hey, whatever. I mean, you can't fault somebody for making big money, wanting to do. I mean, it's whatever. Thank you for what he did for Georgia. I hate it because I think it tarnishes for what his Georgia legacy will be forever, obviously, because he made some of the biggest catches in Georgia football history. When you think about the catch in the national championship in Indianapolis against Alabama, the go-ahead touchdown in the Peach Bowl, man. I mean, legendary stuff that in the state of Georgia he could have never bought a meal, but never bought anything the rest of his life. But going to be with Steve Sarkisian and Quinn Ewers over in Austin, Texas, man, and we'll see how that works out. I don't know. I hate it, man. I hate that the game has turned to that.
You hear a lot of people saying, well, he's going back to be with his, baby and all this. And I don't, this sounds bad. I don't know if I buy that, because surely he saw his kid a good bit. Surely he saw his family. And it's not like he didn't have money coming in from other NIL deals here. I'm not saying that wasn't a factor. I'm just saying that's not the main reason he left. The main reason he left is because a kid was handed $4 million to go play football.
The Texas big, like, old guys or whatever that they do, the guys that are the ones who wear their bolo ties with the Lucchese boots and Stetson cowboy hats around and their suits, just businessmen is I've talked about my personal vendetta against them. What they're doing in college football and affecting the Georgia recruiting type deal. We saw it with A&M a couple years ago, and we see how that's happened with them. I love it. And then A.D. Mitchell the same way, man. A lot of deep pockets in the Lone Star State, man. And one thing that those A&M guys and those Texas guys, they want to see them in the playoffs and the national championship, and what's happening in Athens there, they're trying to duplicate, and they're shelling out as much money as they can to see that happen. And, it's still funny, and that's what I told TCU fans to console them after the beat down. And I was like, man, at least y'all are the first team from the state of Texas to make a college football playoff.
And probably one of the least likely teams to do it. And they proved everybody wrong.
And they did it. Anyway, I digress. I just I'm not a fan of those type of individuals that are putting the money, the bag men per se, of those universities in the Lone Star State. And it got A.D. Mitchell. Well, one good positive, Clark, about it, man. Talented receiver. Did a lot for Georgia when he was on the field. But you got to think, I mean, golly, how much 95% of the season he was not on the field.
That is very true.
Or whatever it is.
So, but then you look at the impact he made when he was on the field.
There is no doubt that he is a stud receiver. And would have played a big impact on the 2023 offense, Clark. But right now, man, that's why Georgia recruits at the level that they recruit. Why they work the portal like they work the portal is next man up mentality, man. Next man up mentality. Let's go. We lost our arguably top receiver last year to the guys down the road, Alabama. And you know what? Guy stepped up.
I agree with you there. I don't think he was the best.
No, he wasn't. But you're talking about, that was the conversation, right?
Right.
But you don't think he was the best. Do you think AD was the best
last year?
The year before last?
Oh, yes.
When Jermaine was still on the team.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
don't get me wrong. Jermaine was extremely talented. I'm not taking away anything from him, but I think there are guys. I think Brock was better than Jermaine Burton.
Well, of course,
in certain
I'm talking
situations.
about like true wide receiver on the outside. Is what? No. Right. That's blasphemous. He's not even. Neither one of those guys are in the same stratosphere as Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
There's not too many people in the same universe as Brock Bowers as number 19.
I completely agree.
So don't take me wrong on that when I said that. It's just the similarities of you lose your stud wide receiver, and there's pandemonium, there's panic. And I've learned one thing, Clark, and we're gonna get this later in the episode with other news, bro. Trust Kirby Smart. Never doubt Kirby Smart, especially when it comes to coaching staff and management. And roster management. Because there's nobody else better in the game today than Kirby Paul Smart. Kirby Paul goes out there and he makes stuff happen on the roster management front and in the coaching staff front in a time and a world where that is hard to do because you got to re-recruit your guys that are on roster that you locked down when they were coming out of high school to come to Georgia. You got to still recruit them while they're on the team that you didn't have to do a few years ago. And he's the best in the business at doing that. And the guys that will slip away and go on, greener pastures, hey, man, the Georgia brand and what he does and his staff does will get guys come that want to be a part of it too, man. So,
and if you don't want to be a
part of it, then forget it. Don't worry about it. We're the best thing in college football right now. There's 2 back-to-back national championships. If you want to be a winner, if you want to go on, and you look at the goals that these guys that set out with their dreams were when they came to Athens to be a part of the University of Georgia under Kirby Paul Smart, Clark, they were obtained. Rings, national exposure, NFL draft picks last year, and what we'll see this upcoming April too, man. And they're going to go make millions and just ball.
Yeah, ball.
That's what the kids say.
Financially and athletically.
Everything.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, build some houses, man. Get some Maseratis.
Is that what is that the choice of car?
I assume something like that. Some nice, something that
Maseratis are nice.
You don't see.
They look really
you don't
good
see driving around Franklin County, Georgia.
No. All you see here is a nice GMC going down the road every once in a while. A really nice one.
Yeah, that's about and then the rest of it's just some good American made, just farm trucks, man.
Oh yeah,
Love it, and just other good vehicles.
That's true.
Anyway.
While we're still on the wide receiver topic, let's talk about Rara Thomas. He got into a little bit of an incident, got arrested. Adam, is he going to be able to play this season? Do we know?
We're not going to talk about what the incident had because I hadn't read any police reports. I don't know. I don't even want. I mean, that's for other people to dissect there. What happened? I don't know. Whatever. From what I've heard is it looks like he will still be on the team. Everything I read. Now, again, like we say all the time on this show, we don't have any inside connections. It's just kind of speculation from what you hear. But I think he's still planning on being on the team, and that all the transfers that came in this year, especially your big target ones that the Dominic Lovett and all that have bought into the culture, man, on campus, and we'll see what. Hopefully, this is, if it is true what happened, that this is a huge wake up call for that young man. Yeah. Because if what had happened, that it's unacceptable.
Right,
it's unacceptable. But
a lot of this stuff, a lot of this stuff is dealt with internally. You don't see a lot of. I will say this. There are a lot more incidents that happen with these kids.
Right.
Certainly not as major as what Rara got himself into or allegedly did. But a lot of that stuff is handled within the confines of smear building.
Yeah.
And, a lot of stuff people don't hear about, and that is kept under wraps because of Kirby and his staff. I mean, a lot of time, and it's not like we're getting away with murder.
Right. No. But I mean, still, some of the stuff, I don't know. I haven't really read it. That's why I'm kind of scared to comment on it, because from what I think I heard what it was, if that did happen, I think that's one of those things that, as our beliefs, or as a man that absolutely should never have point blank period, never anything shit. But that's kind of as far as I want to go speculating.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's kind of,
that's good.
Because I don't want it, because I don't know the whole details, man. And don't want to go their way. But it's one of them things that I think still going to be on the team from what you hear. But
well, here's a story we do know the details about, or most of the details. Stetson Bennett, oh God bless him, got arrested out in Texas for a little public intoxication and ding-dong ditching people at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. When I woke up that Sunday morning, I read that. I was like, my gosh, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand maybe like 2 a.m., 1:30 a.m. if he's out there going out and about, gallivanting around. But if this man at 6 a.m.
Oh, man.
At 6 a.m. is that inebriated,
I love that word.
He's going around and knocking on doors. Goodness. What a night.
My thing is,
what a night.
Was this at a hotel? Was it at, just some random neighborhood?
I think some metropolitan area, man, neighborhood. I don't know those details either, but, there are a lot of great gifts. Is that what they're called? Or
yeah,
GIFs. GIFs. No, that's not what it.
Yeah,
I know what it means. A meme, not gifts are just the word, right? I mean,
no,
the gifts are the.
It's like a moving picture.
No, the meme is the word. Yeah, the meme is what I was looking for. Yeah. Now, a lot of good memes came out of that, and it's,
we need to teach you a little bit more about the difference between gifs and memes.
Yeah, but
a gif is a meme.
Okay,
I guess a meme could also be. Well, some memes are gifs. It's confusing.
They correlate, though.
They do correlate, Adam. You can use them interchangeably. I
understand. But a lot of good jokes.
There you go.
Puns and punchline were came across. Of course, because it being in Dallas, close to Fort Worth, where TCU is located, and after that beat down, I mean, a lot of good stuff out there, man. You just use your imagination. Well, and, some of the stuff, because we are a family-friendly show, right? You could go look it up yourselves. But everybody's done heard. I mean, we're reporting news that happened long time ago,
a while back.
Just giving our takes.
We're catching up. So. Yeah, we're catching up for sure. But man, Stetson, God bless him. Like, what in the world? I do think he was training from what I understand.
Yeah. He was with a I guess private quarterback coach or whatever, academy or whatnot. He opted out because he would have been in Mobile for the Senior Bowl practice, but opted out of that, man. But wish Stetson the best. Thank for what he has done. DGD, arguably the best to ever put on the red and black, and I think he'll get drafted.
That was what I was about to ask you. Where do you think he'll get drafted?
4th round.
Yeah, I could see 4th or 5th.
4th round.
I mean, if we're being serious about it, 4th or 5th. Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't know as far as with some of the stuff how that will affect it, if that will not, but Before that, and just thinking that didn't affect, I see fourth round, man. I think he'll be a long time NFL backup. Maybe I'm crazy, but why doubt the kid at this point?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Some people just got that it. He's got that it.
Yeah.
He's got that it.
And I was watching Jalen Hurts at the Super Bowl, and I'm not comparing Jalen to Stetson.
Right.
I will compare Jalen right out of college to Stetson right out of college. And I'll say, talent-wise, there's not a ton of difference. I don't know. Maybe I'm being absolutely ridiculous.
I think.
Am I being crazy?
No, talent-wise, mobility, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think the physical characteristics of Jalen Hurts just being a freak. That's the thing that would be. Yeah. I think would be.
He
the
is
difference.
much more stocky.
Much more stockier, taller,
yeah.
and that's what he did a lot with the Eagles in the little bit of NFL season. That helped him a lot. But no, as far as a gamer. Stetson, he deserves a chance.
Yeah, give him a chance.
We'll give a NFL draft preview episode. We'll break all this down later.
Let me ask you this.
Put that on the books.
Okay, yeah. Let's just do a knee-jerk reaction here. Where do you think Stetson will go? I'm not talking about the round. I'm talking about the actual team, the location.
New England.
New England?
New England.
Do you think Bill Belichick likes him enough?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that seems like a Stetson place, a Stetson destination.
Lad McConkey will join him eventually.
that I would put actual money on, actually. I'm being serious. Wait, where's Hunter Renfrow right now in the league?
He's with Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
He was with him, I know. But
who's the Raiders coach? This just shows how little I know about NFL.
It was Josh McDaniels. I don't know if he got fired this past year or not. I can't remember. They did terrible.
Well, I couldn't. I thought it was still Gruden for a while.
They had some.
There was an incident with that.
There was.
Oh man! All right, back to Georgia.
All right, ADHD pulling us back in ADD.
Yeah. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. For some reason, I was about to say the pink elephant in the room. I don't know why, but the elephant in the room.
All right,
Monken Out, Bobo In.
Boom.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So really why everybody needs to know why it has took us this long to release another episode is we were waiting for this news to break.
Right.
Instead of doing an episode, speculating, weighing everything out, thinking, Monken's going to stay. He's going to stay, and kind of going back and forth with just utter speculation with no inside sources whatsoever. We wanted to wait until we heard officially if Monken was coming back or if he was leaving, and then make an episode on who potential offense coordinator replacements would be, right, Clark?
Right.
Well, we got them both already.
Yeah.
And it's something that browsing the Georgia webs, I'll call it.
Okay.
Getting a pulse of the fan base, very controversial. And we knew it would be, and we knew this was a possibility, and I was going to go ahead and say I like it.
You like it?
I like the hire.
Okay.
I like that, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
But you go ahead.
Adam, I think it's fair to say, though, whether you like the hire or not, it's going to be a downgrade.
Oh, yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, there's no doubt, Clark, that what Monken did at Georgia, you think about the last 3 games, he was the head coach at Georgia.
Yeah. Against the teams he played,
man,
too.
LSU, 50 burger. Ohio State, 40 plus. 65 in the national championship. Unbelievable. What he did, even honestly, Clark, let's just pay tribute to Todd Monken for a minute.
I like it.
Let's do it. We knew he was a journeyman, right? We knew he wasn't going to be a guy. We would just hope that maybe the wife loved Athens, man. Didn't want none of the big city NFL living in those type of environments. She loved kind of the feel that Athens gives, a unique feel that we all love about going over there, and some people love living in it. And you would think as a head coach's wife, maybe that was kind of the thing, man, that maybe the wife loves it, and we're going to stay here and retire. We're in the back half of our career. But it meant to be his heart's in the NFL. Yep. But coming in, Clark, to 2020, to the COVID year, man, what he did, the automatic change, just like that, from the 19 offense under James Coley, which was a dang good defense that year.
Oh, yeah.
But that offense, Clark, was just,
and it wasn't the talent on the offense; it was the scheme.
No, the scheme. It was just horrendous, man, horrendous. I remember, I was like, I'm an idiot. I really thought that we opened up in Nashville on a Saturday night that year against Vanderbilt, And I thought we had some good play calls. I was like,
Gets Vandy.
And then, it did not shape out to be. But anyway, so from what he inherited overnight to what he is getting now, or what he turned Georgia into, even from 2020, man, late half 2020, that Mississippi State game, the Peach Bowl, Missouri, playing them weirdly in December that year, up in Missouri, put up points with JT Daniels. He just transformed it, took it to a whole nother level. And that's what you got to have. As elite and as good as Georgia's defense have been the past 2 years, you do not win a national championship without the level of play and high standard that Georgia's offense was at.
I tell you what, Todd Monken did that no other offense coordinator, at least in my lifetime, has done, is believed in his quarterback enough to just turn the offense over to him. And that's what he did with Stetson. And you know,
I think it took a while to get there.
It did. It certainly did.
To both of them, right? And I feel like the trust and the bond that those two had was great. They were made for each other. Yeah, and it was good. And I think sometimes when Stetson did kind of go off on his script, that Monken was able to rein him in right. And, you know, and that was a good relationship between the two. I feel like looking at it from the outside in, but anyway, you can't say enough about what Todd Monken did at Georgia. But what this does, Clark, we kind of knew he probably wasn't going to be here forever. It's wishful thinking. If you look at the trajectory of his career from where his pattern is, 3 or 4 years at one stop and then moving on. I mean, he was the head coach at Southern Miss, inherited like maybe a winless football team or one win, and then didn't have a good year the first year. The second year wasn't as good, but his third year as head coach down there in Hattiesburg, man, won 9 games. Yeah. So, I mean, but then instead of keep building on the program, he jumped at an offense coordinator position. He left, you know. So it seems like 3 or 4 years and he's going to the next stop, man, and obviously he wants to get back in the NFL. I think the last time he was there with Cleveland, he was not calling plays. And I think he did in the stint with Tampa Bay before that. So I imagine surely he's going to Baltimore and being the play caller.
Oh my gosh, you got Lamar and you got Mark Andrews, right?
Yeah,
is he still there?
Yeah, I think so. So I mean, he's got some tools to work with, definitely. And to win in the NFL, you got to have a quarterback, man. Yeah. So he maybe felt like that was the right fit there, and with John Harbaugh and hey, we'll see.
I really do wish him the best of luck. You know, you can't fault him for this. I talk with my former boss, Brett Green. He's down in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers, and he actually does their video, their team video, coaches video, all that. He's the director of technology, I think. Anyway, I was asking him kind of the difference between working for an NFL team as opposed to working for a college team, and all he ever talks about is the difference between recruiting. And that's what you hear a lot of these guys say that make that transition one way or the other. College recruiting takes so much time, so much energy and effort. I mean, you're recruiting away from family. You're recruiting these guys, I mean, even into the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade nowadays. Yeah. And now you got to worry about NIL deals on top of that.
Yeah, and re-recruiting them even when they're on your team already for a couple of years.
I mean, it's just, and I don't blame any guy who wants to make his job easier and go into the NFL. So, I wish him the best of luck. But moving forward with Mike Bobo, Adam, you said you like the hire.
Yeah.
I do too.
Good.
But it does concern me a little bit. His history, look, I'm a little timid. I'm a little timid.
I mean, that's understandable, man.
And if you didn't live through the 2007 through 14, maybe you won't feel this way. But if you lived through those years, there were some good times. There were some really good times, and there were some really bad times too, as far as offense play calling goes.
Yeah, I agree, Clark. One thing about Bobo, man, you talked about the recruiting. That it's got to be in your blood to be a college football recruit. And also, not only that, but when you come to Athens and you sign up to be on Kirby Paul Smart staff in Athens, Clark, you got to take it up a notch when it comes to the recruiting side. Because if you can't, you're out of here, man. You're done. I think that was the prime Exhibit A's Tracy Rocker that one year he had, man. If he didn't want to get out there and look where he's at, he's a position coach in the NFL right now. So Bobo is a guy who knows the game of recruiting, who in the most hot spots in this nation, primarily in the Southeast, has the connections, man. A guy who is well known and a guy who knows the culture here at the University of Georgia. And one thing I like about it here now, Clark, with this rendition of Bobo coming in, he's been on staff and he's been in Athens for the past 13 months under Monken. I think people think too that we're going to line it up in the eye. He's going to have a Sean Chappis type fullback out there, Quavon Hicks fullback out there, and we're going to run that.
We're going to do the misdirection where the play action pass where we stick the ball 5 feet in the air and
no, that's football from a decade ago, man.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore. And Georgia and Kirby found the formula that he wants, the type of offense he wants to see. And just because Todd Monken left doesn't mean that offensive attack is going to leave too.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be his own wrinkles in it. I think you're going to see more of a running game.
I was about to say.
And also, Clark, a guy, Stacey Searles, who has worked under Bobo at the University of Georgia before as an offensive line coach. And I think you're going to see better schemes in the running game, man. Maybe not so more in the passing game. It was hard to beat what Todd Monken did with some of the schemes in the passing game. But still, you're going to see the same offense. It's not all of a sudden you're just going to see, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing.
Exactly.
They're not going to do that. Bobo will have his personal touch, and people don't realize, man. I feel like Bobo had a lot of input this year on the offense, and Todd Monk could be the first to tell you that. No, he wasn't calling the plays, but they sit there with analysts and all these staffs that go over all these meetings of this game plans, these attacks. Man, I think it was one of the plays that we openly know about, not counting the ones that we don't. That was in the SEC championship when Darnell Washington caught that touchdown pass right across the goal line. Early in the first half of it, that Monken said in the interview that was the one that Mike Bobo drew up right there. So, I mean, yes, I don't think in-game play caller, it's going to be hard to get somebody better than Monken, man. But Bobo, let's think about it real quick. Let's think about if Bobo wasn't in the equation, who would Georgia go get? And now, more so now, back in the day, man, there were some unrealistic things about who Georgia would get as an assistant coach. Now, man, you might say these dream top guys, it's more reasonable now because Georgia's the king. They're the standard now. But back in the day when we always would have these talks, there was just fairy tale dreams. But what you're seeing, man, I mean, you look at Alabama. Ryan Grubb was the hot name, the Washington offensive coordinator. I think he gets paid a couple million up in Seattle, man. But Saban wanted him, interviewed him. I'm sure he offered him, turned him down. Saban couldn't get Joe Moorhead away from, is it Akron? It's some MAC school that he's the head coach of now. So anyway, what I'm saying is Saban was striking out, and settled for Tommy Rees, which is a very underwhelming hire in my opinion. And
son of, what's his name, Rees? Who's his dad? Tommy Rees' dad.
I don't know. He played quarterback at Notre Dame about 10, 12 years ago. Tommy Rees did.
Is his dad not keep going.
Oh, I don't know, but anyway. I'm interested. I'm intrigued to see who you think his dad is. But my point, I guess, is, man, who else would you get that would be a sexier hire than Mike Bobo?
I don't know.
I mean, you think about maybe. I think kind of if you didn't have Bobo, the route I'd like to see would be the kind of the Joe Brady, Liam Cohen type, in the sense of not necessarily them, but a young offensive assistant in the NFL that has learned under guys like a Sean McVay, or like a guy who's been on the Kansas City Chiefs staff that's learned under Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, that type of deal. But I don't know. I mean, and then are they going to like recruiting, Clark? Joe Brady didn't. Liam Cohen left and he went to the Rams, but then things didn't work out there, so he came back. Bobo knows recruiting, man.
Well, I think a lot of people, they see this, they see, okay, Bobo's been on our staff for a year now. This is such a lazy hire. And I don't think that's really the case.
Nah.
I mean, this is just me predicting. I feel like this is a safe prediction. I'm pretty sure Kirby went out to get Mike Bobo and because he knew Monken was out the door in a while. And so he brought him in to prepare him to get a year under his belt to learn from Monken, to collaborate with him, to call plays with him, to draw up plays with him.
To learn where the culture is,
right?
Where we want to be.
Yes, to where we want to be. And now he's ready. We're just moving him in. It's next man up mentality, even in our staff. And so I don't think it's a lazy hire by any means. I think I'm with you, Adam. I do like Mike Bobo. And man, there's something to a fresh start.
Yeah.
Having a fresh start.
A chip on his shoulder.
On his shoulder. Yeah. He's out to prove. Look, I can guarantee you Mike Bobo hears what a lot of people say about him, especially from the UGA websites is what I'll say.
I mean, just some stuff that's been out there since he's been at at Georgia, going back to his time under Rick, man. I mean, a lot of ridicule. So a chip on the shoulder, man. And I think Kirby said it. I heard that he spoke at an event a few nights ago and basically said, a man with a chip on his shoulder will outwork anybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to be ready to go. I think is the best hire. And two, Clark, not recruiting connections. A lot of guys, current players, that the keys to the Ferrari that he is going to be handed with this offense, respect them, love them. He's developed relationships with them this past year. It makes sense to me. Him and Kirby know each other really well, and he knows the culture, man. And what I think it brings, Clark, if it works out, is stability.
Yes.
Stability because eventually you're going to lose Schumann on the other side of the ball. And there's Muschamp. You got Bobo and Muschamp, guys who's been there, done that. And now they're back home at their alma mater, have buyouts from previous contracts, man.
Must be
money's
nice.
not money, exactly. And they're all their best friends working together at their alma mater, and they're good at what they do. If Bobo makes that piece to be that, and he is, doesn't take too many steps back off from where Todd Monken's offense left off, and we still have that production, then Kirby Smart has made stability at the coordinator level, something that you don't have at Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or anywhere else that is going to be huge, and guys who can recruit, who are well respected around these areas and bring guys in, man. So you got to look at it from that area too. But the thing is, the offensive scheme is not going to change a whole lot. I mean, you think about guys like, man, Steve Sarkisian. Think about this. Steve Sarkisian, when he ran offenses at Washington as a head coach, he had some good ones at USC under Pete Carroll and them. But before that, like Washington and all these places, the Falcons. And then when he went back to Alabama, he looked like he landed him a head coach job at Texas.
Right.
Now, Steve Sarkisian before, Clark, wasn't good offensive mind, but just wasn't, oh, man. Well, those guys he had at Alabama. Now, let me ask you this. Was it Steve Sarkisian calling the plays, or was it the Jimmy and the Joes?
It was the Jimmy and the Joes.
Right. And the system that Saban wanted to run, that he had from Lane Kiffin on up.
He had to adapt.
So, exactly, had to adapt. So what I'm saying is going to happen in Athens, Mike Bobo's going to have the Jimmys and Joes. There won't be no excuse of that. And I'll be honest, he couldn't say that all the time. Now, there was some good talent in some of his Georgia teams. He couldn't say that his last two offense coordinator stops. Let me just say that. At South Carolina and Auburn. But what good players can do can make coaches look phenomenal. Or, so I think you think about that. The system's already in place. He knows what he's going to run. And again, you do not doubt Kirby Smart, man. Right. So it's unbelievable to me the sky's falling approach some Georgia fans are taking. We're defending national champions, man, and thinking that Kirby's just always loyal to a friend, man. This is what no. And I'll tell you the difference too. If it doesn't work out, I think it will work out. But let's just let's just speculate that it doesn't work out. Bobo will be gone.
Oh, yeah.
Best friend or
within
not,
2 years.
Bobo will be gone within a year. I mean, we saw what happened with James Coley gone within a year, man. Kirby's not going to let that hang around. But I know he has the confidence, and we should too, that he is the best fit for what was out there. And yes, Clark, you're 100% right, man. You're not going to say that it is even on the same playing field or breaking even, and definitely not upgrading, but it is 100% downgrading. But you are not going to go anywhere and get somebody, I think, that would still be breaking even with Todd Monken. I don't. Just too experienced, too good in what he did. Let me say this too, Clark. I mean, let's just go over the stats real quick.
Okay.
I mean,
hold on, right quick.
Oh, you go ahead. I'm talking too much.
Because my note correlates with yours. By the way, Adam has his notes written on a beautiful I love this napkin. Look at that. That is awesome. I mean,
just numbers nobody else would understand.
I love it, Adam. It only makes sense to you because I don't know if I can make any of that out.
You can. I mean,
there's some numbers.
A bunch of random numbers.
Oh man! All right, let's go through Mike Bobo's history just really quickly.
Give it to us.
So he played at Georgia, right?
Of course.
He played at Georgia
with Kirby Paul.
With Kirby Paul
under Jim Donnan.
Muschamp was
a little bit before.
Right?
I think they crossed over a little bit, but yeah. Muschamp was more kind of early 90s, 92 range, 92. And then I think graduated maybe 94. And Kirby came in 94. Maybe Bobo came in 95. No, 94 too, probably. I can't remember. I know Bobo was starting quarterback in 96 and 97. And Quincy Carter was in 98. Oh, yeah. So 97 was Bobo's last year, right?
I believe, yeah.
We were 4 years old at the time, but I believe that's it. Yeah,
yeah. We have to go back to YouTube to watch those guys. We didn't Man, we didn't get to see him live.
But yeah.
Anyway, Bobo started at Georgia as a quarterback coach in 2001 with Mark Richt. 2006 was his last year as the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Solely. And then he was promoted to Georgia's offense coordinator from 2007 to 2014.
And what's the primary play caller? He was the play caller.
He was.
Rick gave up play calling duties about that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I do think Rick still called a couple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had to.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado State's head coach in 2015 to 2019 did not have a very impressive showing out there.
Nah.
Was then moved back to South Carolina as offense coordinator and quarterback coach in 2020, and then to Auburn as their offense coordinator and quarterback coach in 21. And then he came back to Georgia
as an analyst last year. Okay, let's just start and break down what we know of Bobo's career. Let's start from the Rick ages from 01 to 14, man. 07. Get Stafford. He gets Stafford in. Yeah, he gets guy. I mean, you got to think this guy brought in. He has coached Matthew Stafford. He's coached Aaron Murray. And guys like Shockley and Green. But I mean, you're two big huge recruits that came in out of state were those two, man. And they did not win SEC championships, but Stafford or Murray. But I mean, they were great collegiate quarterbacks, and Stafford obviously went on to have a great pro career. But I would say, man, a lot of Bobo's time at Georgia when he had really good offenses was overshadowed by horrible defense. Horrible defense,
yes.
man. I really feel like Murray's years, he put up championship level numbers. And I mean, offensive points per game that matches what Monken's group did last year. I mean, it did. Yeah. It did. And but the defense just wasn't there.
And isn't it sad? It was sad to think man, he caught so much flack. A lot of times Bobo did when the blame really should have either been on Rick or Grantham or Willie Martinez. I mean,
exactly.
There's so many more other people you could have put the blame on,
right?
In a lot of situations, but it somehow always fell on Mike Bobo. And look, I used to be a critic. Granted,
I was
in high school and middle school. I didn't really know what I was talking about.
But it was just a cool thing.
But it was what you talked about. Right?
Oh yeah. And, I remember. I mean, everybody talked about that, man. Yeah. But I do remember one time, Clark.
Oh gosh, I know what you're going to say.
Fuming.
Yeah, me too. Wait, can I guess?
What? Yes.
Was it South Carolina 2014?
Well, that's another one.
Was there another one?
We'll talk about. This one was one in particular. As I was sitting in the rain in a cold December night in Memphis, Tennessee at the Liberty Bowl, watching Georgia put up 6 points against Central Florida and lose 10-6 to cap off a 6-7 season. I was sitting in that stadium and I was saying, I cannot watch this offense any longer.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I was not happy with Mike Bobo as a 17-year-old high school kid right there that we drove all the way out to Memphis to watch that embarrassment. And the one you're alluding to, Clark, was that
goal line,
that 2014 South Carolina game, man, that we came back, golly, and we don't give Todd Gurley the ball. And
the best player in America, the best player in America in 2014.
What was it? A tunnel screen? Was it supposed to be like a little tunnel screen pass and got an offensive pass interference?
Oh yes,
offensive pass interference.
And then I think the next play a bootleg or something.
I don't know.
Man,
I just know that we were right there on the goal line and we got backed up 15 right there. But going just a tad bit off topic, then we'll come back in. That game that was the best collegiate run I've ever seen in person. One of them.
Oh, yeah.
Todd Gurley, he ran across the field.
Oh, my gosh.
And then he had another gear when he came back to the opposite side of the field, man.
He ran 50 yards to go 17. Yeah, it was like
third and 17. It was third and long, man. Right. And he should have been stuffed with didn't get any positive yards or either at least just 2 or 3 if the most, but he reversed it back upfield and got about 22 yards on that.
He wanted it.
Golly, man, I don't want to think about that game.
I don't even want to think about that year.
No. And then think about it. But Clark, that year 2014, you know how many points Georgia averaged with Hudson Mason at quarterback in 2014?
It's something like 40. It was over 40, right?
40.2.
40.2, not bad.
What Georgia just averaged last year in 2022 was Stetson Bennett, the 4th at quarterback, 41.6. So, number 4 ranking last year and number 8 in 2014. So, he's put up points before. Definitely, I'm not going to say he is Todd Monken, but there has been some times where he has put up some points and it was overshadowed by very poor defensive play because, golly, just the Jimmies and the Joes weren't on the defense side of the football. I think back then, man, you could argue that, I know for a fact that the most elite talent was on the offense side of the football that he had a major part in bringing in.
Yeah.
But, you think about the guys that were trying – well, there was – think about some of the receivers that tried it out there back in them days. But
God bless them. Hey, we respect them. We love them because they put on the red and black. But, we're not saying those guys weren't talented.
No, but they were
they're not as talented.
No, it's
they're
not
certainly
the elite.
not as talented.
And they were good.
probably
they were 10-win seasons, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people would die to have the years that Georgia had back in those days, man, that we got to enjoy. But now – let's see what Bobo can do, Clark, because he is there with a program that is not and I think, too, Clark, he had to be the glue in his later years at Georgia, too. He had enough, man. Yeah. You had athletic director, athletic director just not wanting to shell out the support there to get indoor practice facility needs. You had Jeremy Pruitt acting like an idiot.
Yep. But Jeremy Pruitt was the reason we got
right. Oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying in some speculation, some ways, but he was right on a lot of things. So a lot of just turmoil, I guess, that Bobo kind of had to be the glue to keep stuff together there. And I think he got an unfair rap. And then that's what I think led to his exit in 14. They need to get out and, of course, pursue a head coaching opportunity. Right. So it would be a great story if he comes back, Clark, and has success, man, and wins a national championship as a offensive coordinator at the University of Georgia, man. So
he's got a clean slate,
fresh chip on his shoulder. Let's roll, man. He's been here over a year. He knows these guys, and for the last time, people, Mike Bobo is not going to change this offense and the philosophy and what they're going to do. Kirby Smart is going to run what Kirby Smart wants to run.
Paul Smart
is going to run what he wants to run. And I think Bobo's a guy who we'll see how in-game play calling goes, but he's done it for a long time. Very connected, very, very connected, very well respected in some circles, man. And Clark, I'll just be honest, I think it's the best hire you can make from realistically. All these people, we're not going to go out there and hire freaking who would we go out there and hire? We're not going to go out there and hire Lincoln Riley.
I wouldn't want Lincoln Riley.
Honestly, all right, let's talk one more thing. One more thing, Clark. I guess somebody who would be, let's say, a sexy offense coordinator hired that's on the market, realistic or not, he's on the market right now. Cliff Kingsbury. Would you rather have Cliff Kingsbury or Mike Bobo? Does Cliff Kingsbury fit into the culture?
Well, that's the thing. I'd take Bobo just because he just saw.
Can he recruit?
No. I don't think he can. Maybe.
I don't think he can. No, he didn't. He had a chance to text. Well, yeah. He had Mahomes there, didn't he? And, he let Baker Mayfield go away.
There you go.
I don't know. Anyway. But no.
Bobo's got a fresh start. And, hey, if there's anybody that's, really down because of this hire and it's still just getting you down.
You're back-to-back
national champions. And, hey, it can't get any worse than Brian Schottenheimer. Okay.
Oh God!
You remember that name?
I was so excited about that.
Oh yeah,
that's what Kyle was wanting Bobo back so bad. But when he left, I was like, okay. And then I thought Schottenheimer, man, he had that last name. His dad was a legendary San Diego Chargers coach, man. We should do a recap, Clark. This would be a great off-season podcast. It's one show dedicated to breaking down the 2015 Georgia Bulldog football season.
We need to do it.
We can give our backstory, Clark, of what we were thinking and how excited we were over dinner that night in Amelia Island before we knew that Fatan Bada. When we heard that afternoon,
let's save it. Let's just say
Fatan Bada was going to come out there and start me and you our conversation, because I know you remember it.
Oh, I do.
Because I remember it. So we need to save that, put that on the calendar.
Oh my gosh, the 2015 season needs to be an episode in and of itself. We're doing it
because we can do it and talk about it now because we're national champions.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter now.
Revisit some of this stuff to just get a good chuckle.
Oh my gosh,
and just to show we've been there from the beginning.
We have. Oh, man, we're going to have a lot more fun this offseason. A lot more in the works, people. Can't wait to crank out some more episodes. Man. We've got some good ideas, Adam.
Dang right, Clark. It's going to be exciting to keep up with spring football this year, Clark. This year, a new quarterback battle.
Yeah.
We'll see how Bobo's doing. One thing I will say, Clark, look out for Gunnar Stockton, man. Bobo, a Bobo guy. He committed to South Carolina when Bobo was the guy there from Rabun County, Georgia. Bobo's parents are in Rabun County. Has done some personal work with Bobo before this and knows his dad Bobo's dad, George, from being in Raven County, man. I think there's a tight bond there.
How do you know
So
Coach
maybe
Bobo's dad's name? I mean, he is a legendary figure in Raven.
You should know.
I know.
You should know it. You should
but-
know why you should know it, too.
Yeah, because
Our high school coach coached with him.
Coach DeLay, Jonathan DeLay, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
Tommy
know Coach
Welch.
Bobo and Tommy
Coach
Welch.
Thomas
That's
Welch,
true.
too. But, yes.
I love Coach Welch.
Yes, but anyway, so that's that. But yeah, old George is up there in Raven County now,
Yeah.
not in South Georgia. So watch out for Gunner Stockton, baby.
Hey, and watch out.
Breakdown.
Yeah, watch out for our next episode number 50. It may take us a month to make this one, but it will be well worth it.
The
We're going to go through.
centennial episode.
Yes, we are going to go through our top. I'm not going to give it a number, but we're going to go through some of our favorite moments on Row 60.
Yes.
The funniest moments, the wildest moments. Who knows? Who knows what you people
It's
are
going to just be a celebratory episode of Row 60 in the podcast, and then we'll get back on to current news and ramp it up.
I like
Spring football, baby.
Oh, I love it. Adam, wrap this thing up. Put a nice bow on it.
I'm excited, Clark. We're in the off season again. National champions again. We get to celebrate it all summer long, all spring long, all that good stuff. We're gonna be here for y'all this off season, man. We got stuff in the works. We're gonna come to y'all more consistent. Pitch us some ideas, man. But we got some exciting stuff coming up, and we're looking forward to it, man. We are blessed. We are thankful. It's so good to get to acknowledge and talk with the Row 60 family again, man. Stay in touch with us.
Yep.
And hey, you never know what we might have planned for G-Day.
Oh.
It's free to get some folks up
That is
gathering,
true.
baby. So we'll see what we got on the horizons, man. You are a national champion. Let everybody out there know it. Anybody that you see, Clark, anybody that you see that's wearing other teams' paraphernalia, you let them know that the Georgia Bulldogs are back-to-back national champions. Be cocky about it. Don't be humble about it.
Nope.
Let them know, hey, support the basketball team for the rest of the year, man. It's a decent little product coming out that Mike White's got. I mean,
It
it's
can't get any
respectable
worse
ball.
than last year.
It's respectable ball being played on the trajectory. Baseball season's cranking up.
Equestrian season.
Equestrian said baseball has got. I'm ready to see them win a freaking regional, by God.
Yes.
This Strickland better produce this year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to call it out. right now.
okay.
Scott Strickland better and the Diamond Dogs better produce this year. I'm going to be ticked.
Bitter.
Ticked.
Hey, we need to go to a baseball game.
Yeah, so, hey, we'll start talking about Georgia baseball, too, here.
Yeah,
this
why not?
offseason. So let's do it. Y'all have a good one. We'll be in touch. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs.
baby. Ooh, 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 ooh.